All right, I don't know how this is gonna come out, and my microphone with my speaker wants to act up. So we're gonna do a little award show, wrap up my basketball league, the MJBA from Faith Community Church in Leroy, 8419 East Main Road, Leroy. Thank you, John. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Hank. You know, we appreciate you allowing us over there actually. I'm at Lions Park. This video on my iPad. This has only got my shorts. So let's back that up a little bit. Try to figure that out. No. Well, as long as you can hear my voice right now, that's what matters. My recording on the iPad ain't bad. All right, let me get to it. Let's get to some of this right now. I obviously don't need this phone. So, 2025 Summer League. So, you guys guilted me into it. Most of the college players guilted me into it. People from all the other sessions, you know. I needed a break. I am not doing a fall. I promise you that. Somebody else pick up for fall. Not me. Not me. I'm going to Florida in a couple weeks. I'm out for a little bit. And then I'm definitely taking a break again when it gets cold out. So let's get started. Try to figure this out here. I hope you can hear me well. I don't know if it's muffled. I can't tell. So I pay attention, right? I pay attention. I mark stats. We got all sorts of stuff, you know. Here's the books. We got all sorts of papers thick. You know, I'm recording this all myself right now. Coach is busy. Coach is out there making some cash, getting you guys some savings. Deputy Commissioner Savoy, he's saving you on insurance. So there's the basketball signed. We'll get to these awards. So past awards. Now Trent, I told Trent that I couldn't give up his plug. Trent is in elite company, Trent Cordone, and trying to figure out so that I don't have just the camera on me. I don't want that. Trent Cordone is the only person to win the MVP. So Trent won MVP, and that looks backwards on there. I don't care. Trent won MVP of the regular season, and he won Finals MVP the same session. So Trent gets the bling. Trent's bling bling. He won MVP, and he won Finals MVP same session. Has not happened since, and that was 3 sessions ago. So I just want to say Trent's in history with Larry Bird, with Steph Curry actually did it. LeBron James did it a couple times. Michael Jordan's done it a bunch of times. You know, so I just wanted to point that out for you, that Trent is an elite company. Now, the session after that, they didn't get their trophies yet either, so that's why I want to do it all together. Boyce, John Boyce won MVP after that. So he won the regular season MVP. Got his tooth messed up in the playoffs early. Spencer in the cast couldn't deliver. So they lost ultimately, and Trent's team did win again with them. Tavon Boyd won Finals MVP. So they had a little repeat run. You know, they had a repeat run last session. Gabe won the MVP. Gabe won MVP, and we already know that, you know, I felt bad for Jamil Marble, so I let him get the Finals MVP, even though it was probably Graham, you know, the GM, the coach, you know, Graham maybe. Nah, Jamil earned it. Harold voted Jamil as the finals MVP over Caden. So I let Harold the ref make that decision. So now I'm going to actually go with the MVP first. We know that, well, no, let me get to who won it. Let me get to who won it all. We actually kind of have a repeat champ, and keep in mind, this is all freestyle right now. I just pick up on a whim. I left work, said, all right, you know what, I'm going to do this. Let me take care of a couple things, and I'll set up this award show so I can close the book on this for the season. So, okay, so we're going to go, who won the finals? I'm not going to do the whole rundown of the playoffs. It was stressful, let's just say. But we set it up. It was good games. There was an overtime game with the Young Medina team, and my boy Will that I had come out, and he put in some work out there. Do the players? No, the players actually do. I do got to start reading these comments. Yeah, the players actually do get them. Trent, I told, get his ass out here so he could pick up his trophy. I started to add that to the budget on there, and some of it was my own pocket originally. So, but yeah, no, they get them all. I'll see them all at some point. Go, Trent, you got to get out here. Tavon's got to get out here so he can see before you leave tomorrow. I've had this trophy in my house, in my basement for a while. Get that thing out of here. All that bling, that don't even belong to me. So we had an overtime game, or we had a one point game between Giovanni, the Rochester team, with Graham, Rochester, Caledonia. Slow connection, that sucks. Anyway, that's not the Starlink out here, huh? So we had almost an overtime game. Pardon me, almost an overtime game, and Giovanni and the boys held it down for Chaheem while he was gone, and they barely beat Medina. Torellis, Johnny, you're gonna see a couple names on the playoff high board. So let me go to the board. Bear with my videoing skills over here. It's all me right now. I'm a lot. So let's go to this board that I made, because I don't have a website, which that's definitely in the budget next too. So you guys are about to spend. I'm done with being MacGyver. So we're going to start driving caddies. We're going to start driving Ferraris. So the board is, get this thing off of here. Here's my big board. And it's all backwards on this camera. Great. Can I do it like this? There we go. I just have to do it like this. I'll just hold it. So there's the first team, second team, third team, all MJBA. All defensive first team, all defensive second team. All right, you guys can see Pembroke and Attica, they won. So that's a second title for Caden and Jamil in a row. We'll end that in the winter. I'll put a good team in. Commissioner will actually put a good team in. Thanks, Mike Rose, for coming out and covering us. Appreciate you. Give them some exposure. Notice I didn't even mention my name once and all that. So the season high points. I want to do the individual game. Season high. So we had Chaheem broke the record. That's an overall high since we've been tracking. 44 points. He had 11 threes in this game, keep in mind. 44 points in a game. Elijah actually had 41 in that game as well. Chaheem 38, Ethan 38, Shay 36. He's always a scorer. He was second in MVP last season. Ethan, you'll see these names on there a lot. Gage busted out with a 33 piece. Geo 32. And he barely even played. He played a few games. He played like 5, 6. I think he played 6 games. Eric 32. Little Eric had a 32 piece out there for us. He was putting in work all season for us. High scorer. Shay again. You see Brock on there multiple times. He had 31. Caden's always on the list somewhere. Caden had 31 piece out there. They had a great team. They didn't have to always score. Notice, somebody's not even on that season high list in the regular season. So, I'll get to that later. Season high in rebounds. Man. So, my boy, Chef Boy Sasa on the Facebook. So I had to mess with him. He's got all these over here. Normally this is a Boyce category. This is normally a John Boyce. No, this is Sasa here. He broke the record, 25 in a game. That is the record of all time in our league, in the MJBA. You know, so he's a cook guy for being Chef Boy. You know, he also knows how to bake. You guys are young. You don't know about Tariq Abdul Wahid, but that's him on Instagram there. Justin came out for a couple games, and boy, he is a bull. Justin Hempel from Damon out there. You know, Player of the Year candidate, always in school. He's a beast. Jeff Redband, former Damon alum, all-time three-point guy out there, and man, he had 17 boards. He hasn't played in a couple years. You just wait, man. Next summer, he's going to be putting in work next summer when he's available again. Zaza, every time, man. Look, how many times I had to write that guy's name down, man? You made me run out of ink on the magic marker out there. Jeff on there again. Justin, both games he played, he's on there. Chaheem in the mix. My boy Brian pissed me off not showing up much for us. We just had a big guy, so I don't have to play center. Maybe we're in the playoffs competing and winning. You know? So, you know, I need my big guys to show up. Brock even out there getting boards. Ski. Darren, my boy from the Res. Darren Brooks. I don't want him not to be mentioned. He's on there. You know, Boyce did make it. You know, he had a couple times getting 14 boards. So there's a lot of rebounding going on. There's some big numbers. Assists. Gio. Gio is a semi-pro starting point guard. No wonder why he had an 11 assist game. He had a triple-double in that. Gates from the Res, he had a triple-double, 10 assists in a game out there. And so he knows how to pass it. I know how to pass it. I thought I had 10 myself, 11, but apparently I only had 9 as my high. It's all right. It's all right. I'm going to have to clip those and see. But anyway, nah, I had 9. Guff! That's your last name, right? Because I know that's Dabs. So my boy Guff, the OG of the league, even more OG than me. He's even more unk than me out there. He had an 8 assist game. Man. And, yo, he is like in his later 50s, I believe, giving you guys work out there, showing you how to pass, and he hits threes too. Caleb had an 8 assist game. Caleb, young buck, you know, he's got his lineups all messed up. He's learning how to be an alpha out here, but he's a good floor general. He had 8 dimes. I'm on there over and over again for assists. Elijah had a bunch of assists with his boys. Jamil on the list. Travis, before he got hurt, on the list. Caleb again. Let the man shine. Andrew even came out for a few games, and he even had a good assist game. Other than that, he's trash, just like at softball. But, no, Andrew had a good game out there. So we had the season high in assists, 11. So we will go over. Let me get over here. Now we got the steals. Waylon played like one game. Waylon played one game this session. They're just so busy with lacrosse, and they got a lot going on, so they can't really play like that. They pay their way. So Waylon had 7 steals the game he played. The one game the guy plays, he has 7 steals. Plus, he had a good scoring game and rebounding. He did a little bit of everything. Chaheem, he had a big steal, one with Caden. Both of them had 6. Brock on the list. Wamel made the list. I had a crazy game. I had a 2-steal game, too. I had some steals out there. I sucked, though, majority. Gates had 4 assists or 4 steals also. You know, but, yeah, Waylon, dude, 7. He was getting defensive player votes out there still. Playing one game. It's crazy. Not a lot of blocks in the league this year, but Josiah with 4 blocks. Who the hell's he guarding out there blocking? You got to be, get in the lab. Don't be letting Josiah be blocking you like that, man. Come on. Get in the lab, get in the weight room, because you obviously need to be stronger. You got to develop a little body bump, but you can't go too hard, or else it's a charge. So you just got to learn how to control your body. Josiah, 4 blocks out there. Man, he playing defense, boy. He hustles out there. He puts in that work. Justin, both games he played. Yep, like I said, Wilt Chamberlain. That's not freaking jocking on him, boy. So that's not glazing him, Caleb. He did work out there. Look, his name's on the list. He played 2 games. Javen came out for 1 game. Javen made 1 appearance and he's blocking shots out there. Jack 3. I forgot to put Will's last name because I didn't have it. My boy Will Robinson from Cobbs. I have him come out. He's going to be playing in the winter with me. And Will had 3 blocks in the game. He played a couple games. Jamil Marble? That's not me on there? That's that Jamil? All right. Jamil had 3 blocks in the game, too. He threw 1 off the backboard. Yeah, he was playing defense. He actually got some defensive player votes, too. One of Coach's favorite players out there. One of Deputy Commissioner Samoy's favorite players. You'll be able to see this in the gym much better than me covering it on here. So there's the article in the paper, the Daily News, the front page of the sports, and we even got a front page overall mention, top story there. Top story in sports, appreciate that. That's good for those guys. I don't think I tagged you on a game for 4 blocks this session, Vaunt. I don't think so. We're going to have to see on there. Nobody had 4 blocks in the playoff game for sure, because the blocks I didn't even put on because everybody had 2 that had any blocks. It was bad. I'll look back though. You got to send me that post because the blocks were looking thin on there. I'll update that, Vontae, if you're on there. So I wanted to know, that's from God. God looked out and made this another good league. I just get fortunate and lucky that he makes me look good when I make a spread, when I make a player prop, when I put on a production. It's not me. It's I only do it for God. I don't like you guys enough to really do this for you guys. I do this because I'm blessed and I'm cursed that this is just what it is for me, But I have steals, Vontae. I don't know. No, I don't know. You got to send me that. You got to show me that. I'll look it up. Playoffs now. Now we got the playoff performers, and there were some big playoff performances. Let me just say ahead of time. A lot of playoff performances. No, I know, Vontae. But if you had that, I want that on there because, look at those. Those numbers ain't like crazy on there. You know what I mean? I know you're not. So I bust everybody's balls anyway in the league. Yeah, Relis, boy, you got to get in there, man. Get an organized team together. I know you tried before. It's hard being a young buck. These guys, it's hard to organize. But you'll be all right. You got experience in the league. So, you've been in the league since you've been a young buck. A real young buck. So now the playoffs, there's some big performances, man. Ethan, that's a playoff high overall. That's a 40-piece. Ethan had a 40-piece. My opinion from the start of the season, because Spencer and them were dogging on him, that they didn't think he was like that when he hit those pull-up jumpers in those faces over there. I say Ethan's the most underrated player of the league. Caden's probably the second most underrated player in the league. So Ethan and Caden led the way. 40, a 40-piece, though, is crazy. Caden, 33. Will, in that loss, he had 32 points. He had 23 rebounds, a playoff high. Like, crazy. Will did crazy out there. So Ethan again on the list. Look at that. Now here's where I was saying. You notice that Tyson wasn't on the regular season scoring list. Their team's loaded. They're talented. He don't have to force shots. Nobody on that team has to force shots. And they just let it come to him. Tyson's on here multiple times. 2 31-point games, a 32-piece. He's on there. Chaheem, you're going to see his name planted. He wasn't there for the playoff first round, but he was there during the season. As you've seen, Chaheem was all over there. So Will Chaheem. Whoops. No. Let's not get ahead. Tyson Chaheem. Gio again. Yo, Gio would have been there Monday. That would have been a crazy series right there of highlights because that guy is just good. One of my I'm a fan favorite of his, actually. So I'm a little biased, but he's a baller. Brock, again, I'm biased on him. He's just a baller. Eric's my player. Biased on him. He's a baller. Coach loves him too, Samoy. That's Samoy's pick right there, Eric. So, yeah, there's some scoring in the playoffs. Those are all playoff highs right there. I think that's higher than last session by a bunch, too. So, rebounds. We got the top 5 rebounding performances. Will, like I said, just an animal out there. Chaheem, the first game of the finals, had a monster game out there. He was putting on a LeBron performance. He almost had a triple-double in the first half. Johnny, where'd that come from, bro? 14 boards out of you, and you don't even ball no more. Right, Rellis? Right, Torellis? Right, Weezy? Johnny don't even be balling no more. Okay, and he went out there and had a double-double, almost a trip-dub, you'll see. He almost had a triple-double. Jake, one of my other favorite players, the guy is just a freaking ball of energy out there. He reminds me of my boy Noah Courier. Just a ball of energy, talented player. Even showed he could hit the 3-ball in the playoffs. Nor the refs thought that was happening. He stepped up in the playoffs. Jake had 2 double-doubles. Gio, a guard, double-doubles. Man, 13 boards in a game. Ethan, you see his name a lot. 13 boards in a playoff game too, man. Yo, these guys were hooping out there. Assists. Johnny, I have never seen you have 5 assists before. Never seen you have 5 assists in a 2-game span, Johnny. I ain't going front. You had 7 in a playoff game against Gio in them, and that's a good baller right there, man. That's a good team you played against, and you did good. Gio, of course. Chaheem had a 7. Yo, come on. Chaheem passing the ball for buckets even. Jackson gets his name on the board. Jackson had a great game with 7 dimes out there. These guys were passing the ball. My name's not even on there. What the hell? Oh, I wasn't good enough for the playoffs. I ain't going front. So, yeah, look at that, man. These guys were passing. Look at Eric, got a 6-assist game. He struggled early in the game, but then he came on late, but he just had a bad, rough start. He's a young buck. He's going to get that. Dre, you guys say, I forgot about you out there. I forgot about Dre. And Andre has 6 assists also. I forgot about Dre. Mikey's first appearance in a playoff in the league. Mikey even had 5 dimes. Chaheem 5 dimes. Caleb's name's back on the list again. You know? Mason had a bunch of 3s. I ain't going front. Mason was doing some work out there on his 3-ball. Steals. We didn't have, like I said, blocks. Nah, that's going to be, the MVPs are going to go over here probably. We'll see how to figure this out. The steals, though, Brock had 4 in his big win. Caden had 3 twice. Ethan, you see his name. Javante, there's your name. You had the 3-steal game. Q playing defense out there multiple games. Quentin had 3 steals. He was hitting 3 balls out there. Josiah, he's always playing defense. And Johnny Suro on the defense, he makes the list out there. 3 steals his damn self. If you didn't reach 3 steals, you ain't getting mentioned. Nobody got 3 blocks. It's all good, though. There's still some blocks. There's still some good plays. 2 blocks, I could have listed half the league. We ain't got the budget for that much paper. Yeah, no, we ain't got that on there, and I ain't writing it out. I already look at how much I had to write. I was going nuts. So let's get to the first. Or no. Let me go down. This is how I had it planned, actually. Like I said, I'm freestyling out here. So we're gonna go with the second team all defense for the MJBA. Second team. There's your second team for the all defense right here. These guys were playing defense. Elijah got a lot of votes, actually, and he did get noticed, and I noticed he is tough to get around. He's a physical defender. He's tall. He's thick. Good defender out there. Brock's jumping them lanes. Brock's competing on defense out there. He's got the numbers. He's on the all defensive second team. Jack in the games he played, defense always. Just like last session, he's playing defense. My players, Gio and Caden. I picked them myself. I didn't care about input anywhere. Those are my picks on defense. Caden's getting steals and good blocks. Gio, if Gio played a full season, his numbers, I can't even translate what they would be, but probably, him and Shaheen together, that's a tough matchup. With Ethan, people are sleeping on Ethan out there. Man, that team is crazy. So Gio's on there for defense. He was getting steals. He was out there playing defense too. So it's not just offense. Him and Caden were doing work out there. Let me get the first team. Here's the first team defense. Now we got Josiah. Josiah had the block lead. Josiah is in the steals. They had the top-ranked defense for points, lowest points allowed by probably 10 points because we're all running the ball up and down. They actually held Chaheem and them's team to the lowest that they had all season. They were in the 70s when they beat Josiah and Gage and them. But Josiah and Gage are anchors out there. Sasa had 100 steals out there. Tyson and Jamil were just hard to get by, lockdown defense. Those guys were all over the place. They played every game. They're out there, and it's tough matchups for. That list that's a good all defensive team right there. Zaza Abdul Rauf, just so you know, it's like Muhammad Abdul Rauf. Had to mess with him. I got a lot of names for him. So now let's go to the all MJBA third team. Let's go here. This is just like the all NBA teams and everything. So this is my third team. Now you got to read all this chicken scratch, right? So Elijah and Jeff and Shay, all these guys except for Josiah makes the list, actually, ironically. I gave him the nod. He played defense every game. He was out there the most, playing defense. Those numbers ain't nothing except for the second to last and the last numbers. He played a lot of defense on the top-ranked defensive team. I'll give him a little biased nod. He knows he's ass. No, he did good. Had a good season. Brian got some votes out there, actually, too. Brian got a bunch of votes. Good player. I think he plays some semi-pro, too, if I'm not mistaken, or some pro-am also, I heard. And I can see why. And that wasn't in a lot of minutes he was doing work in either. Shay didn't play a ton of games, but he did. He played a good amount over there. And he drives from Buffalo. He's dedicated. He won't miss a game normally. So he drives from Buffalo. Failed as a manager. That happens for a lot of people in softball and basketball, from my experience. So I penalized you. I suspended him a couple of games for being a bad manager for a no-show. Keep in mind, you no-show, and it's a forfeit, there's suspensions in my leagues. Have to, man. But we always get games in. Jeff, again, another one that didn't play much, but look at that, man. The guy's averaging 23.5, 14 boards, 4 assists, steal and a half a game, and almost a block. And that guy's out. Jeff's breathing hard as hell after 6 minutes out there, and he's still killing it out there. And he's with me and Brad, who aren't playing defense. I mean, I play defense sometimes. Brad plays defense sometimes, but you got us out there you got to pick up, and we're trying. My boy Brad. You guys, and then Elijah, he's a two-way player. He had a 41 piece in a game. And okay, I mean, like I said, so he would have been possibly higher had he played even more games also. These guys just weren't there enough for me to validate moving them higher, but they were there enough where, and look at the numbers, you can't leave them off the list, man. You'd have to be blind. So let me go to the second team. The second team, all MJBA, one step higher. Again, I'm biased. Look at these numbers. I'm biased on some of these, but so I got Caden up top. Caden's putting in work every game. He's out there. He's doing a little of everything in the stats. 19-6. Again, they're not forcing shots. They're all efficient. Gage, two-way player. He was putting in work. Zaza, guy is Look at those 16 rebounds a game while still getting. He averaged a double-double, and he's getting almost 2 steals a game, almost 3 assists a game out there. Now they played the Phoenix Suns style of offense, but they still they were putting in work out there. Eric, that's Coach's pick right there. That's Coach's one of Coach's favorite players. Look at 23. Man, what a late pickup. Thanks, Klein, for having him. Good thing Eric reached out to Klein. And when I had to put a team in late, I had to add a team in myself. Boy, Eric was scoring out there. So he surprised me. He stepped up, and he's heading to college. And, yeah, he's doing good. Gio, my pick. You can see that's my pick, Gio. I'm biased. Listen, look at those. 23.3 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, and he's a guard. 5 assists a game, 2 steals a game, getting you a half a block. Had he played more games, he'd have been up there, but I could see it. He gets bored against some guys. You don't put that work in, you got the lead, I'm chilling. So I like that. But I also like that he'll kill you first, too. He'll first make sure you're dead before he gets bored. So let me go to the first team. The All MJBA First Team 2025 Summer Session. So, but this is the Finals MVP here. I'm going to go to that first. That's what I must have had planned. The Finals MVP list. This is the Finals list up here. Tyson won in a 3-1 vote. The guy had 26.3 a game in the Finals. This was a best-of-3 series, and they won 2-1. 26.3 points a game, crazy efficiency. 7.7 rebounds, 2.7 assists per game. Almost a steal. Raised his numbers up the whole on every aspect. Caden got a vote. My vote, actually, I gave him out there. It was already 3-0 when I voted, so I was probably being biased. But it was a good race right there, let's just say. Caden, 25.7, 6 boards, 2 assists a game, and 2.5 steals a game. He was doing work out there too, man. They had a good running mate. He had a good running mate, Tyson, there with Caden. And Caden, once again, does not get Finals MVP. 2 times in a row out there. Jamil, we know why you got it last session, right? So Chaheem was, like I said, man, Chaheem had like that LeBron first game out there. They were getting beat all game, and he just was nonstop out there. He had a monster game. He averaged 23.7, 11 boards a game, 3.3 assists a game. He was doing some work out there, just a lot of mismatches out there, and they just couldn't overcome. Q stepping in. Quentin Smith, his brother, little bro, 20 points a game out there. Now, I want to give an honorable mention to Ethan. He balled out too. But Quentin, boy, I had to give a notice to Quentin. 20 points a game, 2 assists a game, young buck. 14 three-pointers he hit in the series out there, by far the most. By far. 14 threes. And he even had 1.2 steals a game. He was actually playing some defense out there. I like seeing people compete on defense. You guys were trying to win. That's good. I love that. Compete. So that's the Finals list. So Tyson, we got Tyson's Finals Summer Session medal right there. So he won that. Tyson Totten, Finals MVP. Let's get that down. Regular season MVP, because that's going to tell you anyway. Once I do the first team All MJBA, you'll know obviously who's MVP, right? So let me just get to the MVP card of the season. Who could it be? There's a few, and you're going to be surprised at the first team. Some underrating. Chaheem, yo, dude, stepped in. He's cool as the other side of the pillow. Stuart Scott, we used to say on SportsCenter. I hope you guys got to actually encounter watching Stuart Scott, because he was awesome on SportsCenter on ESPN. But cooler than the other side of the pillow. Look that up. Chaheem, led the league in points per game. He played every game. 26.1 points a game. He scored 261 points in the season, just putting in work. Third in rebounds, 88 rebounds. Threes, by far, he made the most, 40. He had 11 3 game. Too many game-tying or go-ahead buckets to list. Just clutch and calm. Chaheem's your MVP for the 2025 MJBA summer session. He earned it. He's tops in a lot over there, so, and he put that work in. He's competitive like all you guys are, and that's a good MVP to have right there, and he represented it well. And I was going to mess with you guys. So I had it like a big secret. And if Coach was over here, if my deputy commissioner was here, I could have messed around. But, yeah, Chaheem gets that ring. That thing's pretty heavy. You hear it. That ring's pretty good size right there, so Chaheem will be flashing that bling. Gets the trophy. I was going to mess around with y'all and say I'm the MVP. I'm the top dog. 7.8 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, almost a steal a game. I was going to mess with you and say I was. Why wouldn't I be? Nah. Chaheem. Very deserving. Very deserving MVP right there. In a highly competitive college basketball semi-pro players league. Very crazy league. So let me get to the first team to finish this out. Let me get to the first team all MJBA summer session. And so we're going to go. Obviously, Chaheem got it. Tyson was the runner-up. 21.3 in the regular season, seven boards. High efficiency, too. He was putting in work. Ethan was my surprise pick. My underrated player. Ethan had a chance to compete with Chaheem. Missed the last couple games, cost him. But he was up there neck and neck for a little bit. Chaheem hit a lot of clutch shots. Kind of put him over the top anyway. But, yeah, he was doing work. Now, this is Coach's favorite player. Coach's pick right here. Not necessarily because he's favorite, but he's a game changer. Jamil gets his due. It must be the name. He's got my last name as his first name. I son him, so it's all good. Coach's pick and well-deserving. Jamil's playing defense nonstop out there. He's getting close to 10. I know the numbers don't wow you, but the 10 points, the 9.5 points ain't much, but he didn't need to score that much many games. He's facilitating, playing defense, and he's a rebounder out there. Steals, and he's got some great blocks out there. Brock, how many 30-point games was Brock having? He was third in points out there, barely. He was cooking out there, and he's getting you some rebounds. He's playing defense on a young team that, they got some work to do on some of their rotations and everything. And but Brock was doing work out there. Once they get their rotations down and have the right roster, and they had some good players, man. There's a lot of talent out here, and that concludes the awards there. That's the first team: Chaheem, Tyson, Ethan, Jamil, Brock. These guys are putting in work. You'll see all these at the church again, at Faith Community Church. I'll have that on the wall, just like last session's wall. And then soon, next season, we'll have a website, hopefully. We get in the budget or something. I'll figure out how to budget the stuff. I've been trying to do balling on a budget for us and keep the costs as low as possible and give you the most. So that's why I work the hardest for you guys, because, you guys make it worth it. I watch good acts. You guys are entertainment for me. And when we get to stream the games with the Starlink, thanks Dusty. You the man, Dusty Parker from the Res. So you guys know he helped a lot. And so did Tompkins Insurance help so that we could get equipment for the Starlink. We'll have to figure out how to budget the internet in there, because that's like $120 a month. So that's costly out there, but we'll figure that out eventually. Hopefully we get some sponsors, more sponsors to businesses to be in there. I got ideas, and we'll try. I'm going to continue to try to be a good leader, and with God's glory, from the grace of God. Hopefully I can lead you guys well, and you guys can help me out also. I'm not just a dictator. Yes, I do have final say. That's why my name's on the league. But you can see, like in the paper, I ain't even mentioned me. I gave half of these write-ups. You can see the text messages that I sent to him, to him and to Howard from the Batavian. I ain't even mentioned me. Sorry, John, that I didn't mention the church's name on there too. I didn't intentionally do that. I just pass on the shine to my ballers in the competition. So I just that's why I put the work in, man. So this should be all on the internet eventually. This should all be on the website. You guys got to get me a website for you guys, and then so it doesn't have to all be in these books taking up my space, and I got to write it all out over and over again. And look at this, man. Just like, come on. Look at all that. Thanks to everybody that helped. Thank you guys when you guys do help in video and help keep stats when I play. And it's tough, but hey, we got through it. Eventually we'll get to the All-Star box. We're not ready for All-Stars. I did try an All-Star game before, and a lot of y'all bullshitted with my All-Star weekend, not showing up, taking it serious. A bunch did show up, but a bunch didn't, so we got to figure out how to get the bugs out of that. That's my mom, my grandma, Rosemary Monty. That's the main reason why. Also, I told you I'm going to Florida. I'm a Heat fan, but I'm also a Magic fan because I go to the most Magic games. So let's do that. My daughter, Sonia, Sonia Jamil. That's what another motivation, so don't piss me off because I got motivation. My All-Star ballot box and the MVP ballot box, I got ideas. We got to figure out how to make it all work. It's a trial and error on stuff, but we did get votes. Just not... Got to figure out how to do it more efficient. That would be on a website next too, but we did get... Coach didn't think we'd get like ballots filled out, and I had people send them in, because we got a bunch filled out, but I forget about it when I'm taking care of stuff the whole night. But we got 40 ballots filled out, so that was cool. Something to look forward to, but yeah, so Trent, you just got on to my boy Styles out there, first team all recording team when he starts recording for us. Styles is first team all recording crew. So Chris Stallings, that is. Yeah, Trent. So I told Trent, I want to spoil it earlier. Trent, you got the mention earlier. You were the only finals MVP and regular season MVP in the same session for our leagues out here. So we've had a different MVP, and everybody's got to get these trophies. Like I said, Trent, you got to get out here. Oh, yeah, I know you weren't upset or anything, John. I know you guys are, between John Hunt, who's a deacon at Faith Community Church, and I want to say Hank and Beth, them two, all them make it so, and everybody of the church, they make it so it's not like I had to deal with the city. And a lot of you know me from softball too, when I ran leagues, and it's a lot of politics you got to deal with, and I'm not trying to shit on the city of Batavia politics, but that's why we have to go to Leroy. That's why we're at the Res. That's why I'm in Rochester. That's why we don't have much going on in Batavia, and that's why softball's dead in Batavia. Once I left, I just can't deal with it. I don't care to get into politics in the city unless they want to help and not be my competition, because I go out there and bust my ass. And like I said, I want to get off course, but here's a championship ring. But Jack doesn't get this ring until Jamil or Caden photoshopped him in a picture in the team photo. And so I'll keep that because I'm a champ. But no, like I said, John, I want to get back to John Hunt, our biggest advocate. That's our number one advocate on everything. Even if we're wrong on something, John's got our back. So, and Hank and Beth are the top pastors over there. They're the biggest dogs. And they, like I said, man, they make it so it's not politics for me. I can just focus on the product. I'm not the best at the business end. I'm the best baller on a budget, but I'm not the best business person. I know regular people. I don't know all these business owners and stuff. I'm not like this flashy dude, you know. So I focus on the product, just like in my softball days. Focus on the product. I put the best product. I do the most work. I pay attention the most. I sacrifice. Yeah, so I mean, and like I said, I was a champion and an MVP. It was just in softball. So don't front. I played that DNA damn tournament. I got my MVP. I got my title out there. I step up too. But yeah, so Hank and Beth and John, I appreciate you guys from Faith Community Church. And we'll go be ready for the winter, spring session again for 2026 will come out. I'm at Lions Park where there's always trains out here. I grew up over here at Edward Street Apartments down the street. So I know all about these damn trains. I'm going to get going. Get ready by January for your winter team, because I'm going to make it a serious registration next time, all right? So we had the guys sign the basketball. You know, Reed, Caden, Jack wasn't there. They signed it. They ghost signed it for him. Suro, Connor Cansdale, Jay Millie, you know, got my name, Mill. You know, Jaden Bridge, Tyson Totten out there. So we got everybody out there. They were all doing work. They did good. Cole, look at little Cole out there. Cole was doing work. No, Jamil, here's your real one. There's your reel for the trophy right there. Your net ninjas for Caden. And just remember where you came from in the league, though. You came from Graham. And Graham made the finals out there. Graham had some blocks this year. Graham also, I want to say, Graham Hart's had a 16-piece in the playoffs on his second biggest stage. Graham choked in the finals, big time. But Graham did have an outstanding shooting game, and I have the clips, and I sent them to many people, and he impressed. And Noah Schoonover stepped up, came in, automatically made a finals. So he went from the injured list to making the finals. He had no idea he was going to be playing so many games. All right, let me get out of here. I got to drink some water. I got your papers here, Jamil. I got your papers, like I said, front page. We made it. We made the front page out there in the MJBA. And front page of the Sports B1. And so we are going to conclude this. Thanks, guys, for watching. And thanks for watching later if you click in. But you'll see all this stuff at the church and everything. And I got to get the MVP and the finals MVP stuff. But, yeah, again, Tyson. Chaheem's the MVP. I was going to message you because I had Steve Nash numbers. If you compare me to my rankings, I had Steve Nash two-time MVP numbers out there. So don't be hating on them. All right, you guys. God bless. Take care. And I'm signing off. All right, man. I love you. Rosemary Monty.